There's a bloke who you probably haven't heard of, but I'm going to take 30 seconds to explain why his death matters. Rush Limbaugh was an absolute titan of American talk radio. Now, yes, while he passed away of lung cancer, I am showing what he did for a very long time, which of course led to the things that made him sick, that of course saw him die today. It was that he used to smoke cigars on the air, but that's not why I want to talk to you about him tonight. This bloke was able to take some of the showbiz of music radio and merge it together with the boredom of news radio sometimes. A whole way of talking about politics that became synonymous with the way that so many people absorbed politics, talked about politics in the United States, here in Australia, the UK. This bloke was as big to that movement as, say, Johnny Carson was to Tonight shows. That lots of people followed the format, lots of people tweaked the format. But the basics, just like Howard Stern on FM radio, created that level of shock radio. This bloke, Rush Limbaugh, perfected the art of firing up to an audience of tens of millions of people, bigger than many people's social media accounts these days. Rush Limbaugh is a person who sometimes went way too far. But in a country like America, where it is, of course, written that you have a right to speak, he ultimately was able to survive as a career because he had a lot of people who went, "Thanks for telling me how the world works." There will be many imitators that took Rush Limbaugh's act that won't even mention that Rush Limbaugh has passed away. But for the ability for someone like myself to sit here and talk the way that we do on television, it is in part because of the way that he talked about politics in the United States. But just as it will be when I pass, or when many of the people that you read, listen or watch pass, there's a nastiness that exists where people can't let it go. They have to have the last say, as if somehow they're going to get one against a dead body. Well, this was some of the crap that was on Twitter following Rush Limbaugh. Yes, hardcore conservative. Too hardcore for me sometimes. But people say things like this: "It's easy to make fun of Rush Limbaugh right now, but it's important to remember that he brought a lot of people joy by dying." An F word thrown around about Rush Limbaugh. Let the celebration about his death be a reminder to the rest of the racists and bigots that we will happily dance on your graves too. Here's another example about the stuff that actually made it on television after the news of somebody's death.
Hardening rural white listeners and weaponizing white male grievance. And what I heard was a guy who took white Americans out there in the hinterlands and fed them a narrative of, "You're the victim. No, you're the victim. Don't feel like there's any privileges coming to you. You're the victim. The brown people, the black people, the women, the feminazis, they're taking it from you."
His legacy is a conservative movement that is, in fact, more dishonest, more open to dishonesty, crueler, dumber than it was before. It is a dark legacy. Some of the things that he did in the last 6 months of his life were among the most indefensible things he ever did. And right now, you look around us, and everything can be traced back to Rush Limbaugh and his influence.
He's dead. You win. These people, again, none of these people will get banned or sanctioned because, yes, in America you have free speech. And just as detestable as they found Rush Limbaugh, we find them detestable. But I just wanted to say, as somebody who does this for a living, I recognise the people who did it way better than I ever could. Rush Limbaugh is an example of it.